How are you there? A couple of months from now, ED is going to rig the election. I do not know when Zimbabweans are going to wake up and smell the coffee and see this collusion between Idi Mnangagwa and Nelson Chamisa. When was the last time Chamisa opposed? Is that how an opposition leader 2 months before an election behaves? In an environment like Zimbabwe, where the economy is as dire as it is, you can't tell me that, well, it has passed laws that prohibit the Triple C from holding rallies. Is there a law like that, that an opposition political party is not allowed to hold rallies? There's no law like that. The police is inconveniencing Triple C. So supposedly, because that's a collusion, as far as I said, is a collusion. During the times of Morgan Tsvangirai, similar laws were there, similar problems from the police were there. But Tsvangirai still held rallies. Tsvangirai still had the fire and zeal that goes into an electioneering. But Chabisa doesn't. He's relaxed. It's like he's fat, it means he's eating money. What is he relying on? So he is redundant because Chamisa doesn't want to oppose Mnangagwa. Chamisa wants to appear like he's opposing Mnangagwa. That's part of the gold mafia. That means, when are the Zimbabweans going to wake up? I don't understand. Am I the only Zimbabwean that sees this thing? Am I that, as I don't know how to liken this thing to, whereby you are in a field, there's many people in a field, a lion is coming to approach you, and you're telling people, look at this lion is coming to have to approach, is approaching us, and the people are saying, what lion? There's no lion, it's a goat. Say, it's not a goat, it's a lion, it's coming to attack us. Then everyone says, no, it's not a lion, it's a goat. You're the only one who was seeing visions. Am I the only Zimbabwean who is seeing that Mnangagwa and Chamisa are taking the whole of the country for a ride? Chamisa chete chete, it is a way of monopolizing the opposition so that we can group the opposition politics in this one guy called Chamisa. And then after we do that, I will say very revolution. There's no revolution that is led by Chamisa. No, a revolution. It reminds me of Chaga Zulu. If you watch the film of Chaga Zulu, they used to have wars. And the wars, it was just a caricature. And then Chaga Zulu gets angry and he says, you call this a war? You call this a war? And then he comes up with the real weapons of war that wins. What am I saying? Chamisa is not opposing. You cannot call that opposition. Here's the thing, Zimbabweans, do not get me wrong. I am not against people who are opposing Mnangagwa. I am opposing Mnangagwa. But I'm against Chamisa. And my charge is that Chamisa is in cohorts together with Idi Mnangagwa, so that Mnangagwa will have an easy victory. I do not know what kickbacks Chamisa is going to get, but him and those lawyers at Triple C, for me, I smell a rat. Because those guys are lawyers. What do lawyers do? Lawyers defend criminals. And then how do you defend a criminal regime like ZANU PF? You create an opposition of lawyers led by lawyers to defend you, not only in the court system but also in the court of public opinion, by having your opposition pretend to be an opposition, rally around the people of Zimbabwe, sell to the Zimbabweans this fake, what you call it, the this fake revolution that will never happen. I mean, Chamisa has been always talking about what is it that he always tweets about? Signal, signal in 3 months' time, in 3 months' time. For how many years? When are the people of Zimbabwe going to grow balls? When are the men of Zimbabwe going to grow balls and begin to see? Kuti uyu Chamisa uyu ari kunyepera vanhu and ari kudya mari negold mafia. That is why asina kuenda kujere. That is why all the others are going to jail except for him. Iye akazogarira ega achidya mari. Since when? are the people of Zimbabwe going to see that? When are the people of Zimbabwe going to see that? But I noticed something much more sinister about this gold mafia. Not only is Chamisa captured or the lawyers around him captured, actually it's the whole enterprise of opposition in Zimbabwe. You see, the top layer, the top level of Triple C, the leaders of Triple C, the people who publicly support Triple C, whether it's through the internet, through Twitter, or through Facebook or YouTube, the majority of them are actually CIOs or part of Gold Mafia who are playing a role, okay, a role of being Triple C, a role of opposing Mnangagwa. It's not really opposing Mnangagwa, it's a role to give an appearance that we are opposing Mnangagwa. So in the meanwhile, the looting continues. Well, it's those that are identified as NPF publicly. So see, I'm trying to explain to you how this gold mafia is like, this Zimbabwean mafia is like, political elite. It's one and the same thing, actually. The ones that are ZANU-PF or publicly known as ZANU-PF, you people are going to castigate, speak bad things about them, and they don't care. It's fine, they've got the power. And then they've got this other group that you are going to call Triple C that is seemingly on your side, that is fighting against the ZANU-PF side. But in reality, they're not really fighting. It's a fake thing, including Twitter accounts and YouTube accounts that are in support of Nelson Chamisa and saying chete chete. The reason why they support Chamisa, and let me tell you why the reason why they support Chamisa. The reason why these CIOs and these other people that are these operatives that report to support Chamisa is so that there will be no real revolution in Zimbabwe. If ever you've got any grievance about anything in government, they've already spoken about it. If the government passes a law that is draconian, those triple C, this pretend opposition, they are the ones who are going to be talking about it, denouncing it and denounce and denounce. The next week, it's something else. They'll be denouncing. Next month, the next year, denouncing. That's the game. That's their modus operandi. So they will denounce ED until 2030. All the while, ED and ZANU-PF and the Triple C guys are eating. In the meanwhile, the rest of the Zimbabweans are suffering. So now do you see now the state capture of Zimbabwe? It's not just state capture, it's the capture of the political system. You understand? So that is why I'm saying these elections are shameful. I'm not participating in this shameful Triple C ZANU-PF alliance mockery of an election, mocking the people of Zimbabwe. I'm running to be the president of Zimbabwe by removing both MDC, Triple C, both the opposition and ZANU-PF, which is Triple C, ZANU-PF, and the MDC anyway, all of them. It's just playing with our feelings so that we never ever realize a real revolution. So if ever you're going to have a real revolution, it's going to be outside the province of ZANU-PF, Triple C, MDC. MDC was real only when Morgan Tsvangirai was alive. The time when Morgan Tsvangirai left this earth and they gave power to this boy, Nelson Chamisa, that was the end of the revolution. And then in the Triple C again, there's other genuine people. I later told you that this layer of Chamisa was a fake, and his gang of lawyers around him were also fake, and these journalists who pretend to be opposition, but then they're not. And the reason why, as I told you, that is because they want to block any real revolution. And also the reason is to rally people to think that there is a support for Triple C when there actually isn't. And then you will get real people who support really Triple C because they are gullible. They think that this is a real thing. So they do not know. They will be really supporting. So maybe perhaps you listen to me. You're a real Triple C supporter. You'll be like, no, Chamisa is real. No. You, the supporter, is real. Chamisa and those lawyers and all the other CIOs who support Chamisa who create this appearance of a Triple C opposition know very well that is not real. And there's many of them. They know that's how they eat. That's how Harare is so corrupt. that there are a lot of people that are corrupt, and that corruption includes not just stealing as an UPF, but corruption is stealing the revolution of the people, stealing the Berkeley of the people. So your Berkeley Zimbabweans, your desire to get a better country is stolen by the Triple C leaders. Your heart, because now you love Chamisa, you think Chamisa is the savior of Zimbabwe. So he has stolen your heart and captured them. This is like this is witchcraft. I mean, is there anything witchcraft is that to make someone believe, or make someone believe you, make someone to fall in love with you on false pretense. So that is what it is. I do not know when Zimbabweans are going to come to a realization. Perhaps the real revolution will arise without ZANU-PF, without Chamisa. Mina vele ngifuna eduze kwami uChamisa Vanolo. As I'm telling you that we are going to take Mnangagwa out. When we're taking Mnangagwa out, Bazalwane, let me make it very clear to you. We are not putting Chamisa in. You understand? If Chamisa wants to be in, he must go and remove Mnangagwa himself. Because he won't, because Chamisa and Mnangagwa are friends. Now, that is the accusation that I'm laying to him, this Chamisa. He can come and say, and try to refute that I'll have 100 points that he cannot argue against. First of all, the guy doesn't have a an economic plan. What is he going to do with Zimbabwe? He never speaks about it. You know why? Because he has got no agenda of taking Zimbabwe forward. He's got agenda of playing the role that the gold mafia of Zimbabwe he has given him. And we Zimbabweans need now to take our own revolution. And that revolution includes removing ZANU-PF and Triple C from playing dirty politics. So it is these dirty politics, these dirty tricks that are keeping Zimbabwe in pariah. And when I come to Harare and I destroy the allies of ZANU-PF and Triple C, don't blame me in my new government when there be no ZANU-PF people, there be no Triple C people, there be no MTC people, except for a few that will survive by the grace of the Lord, who will be called by the Lord. Otherwise, the rest of the Triple C people, rest of ZANU-PF, rest of MTC, the whole nyonyo of it, all of it must go. Not just Idim Nangako, Chambisa as well must go. Because he's lying to people, he's taking people for a ride. Enough is enough. Holy is God. Zimbabwe is going to be free.